All right. Okay, we are live. All right. Welcome to episode 688 of the Black Brain Trust. This is Black Tech Talk, the 2022 Tech Outlook. So, I think this is going to be maybe a series. I think there's so much to cover. I have, let me see, I got like about 4 or 5 articles. And it's kind of hardly scratching the surface, to be honest with you. So we'll cover the articles. Wait, hold on. Let me do this. Welcome, everyone. Press or if the sound. Okay. All right, so as you guys make your way in, you can hit the like button. Also, if you would not mind giving me some feedback on the sound, let me know everything is okay. That'd be awesome. Kai's in peace, brother. How you doing, man? Welcome. Can you let me know, anybody, like I said, anybody's listening, can you let me, I know we're just getting started here. Is the sound okay? Sounds okay. All right, perfect. The other thing too is, yeah, I pushed this back a few times. Well, first of all, I don't know what the hell I was thinking scheduling this on New Year's Day. That was stupid. And then, yeah, just let's just say first day of the new year yesterday, busy as shit. So, got planned this time to do this though, because I did want to touch on this, right? We want to kind of set the tone for the tech outlook for 2022. Monquel, holy shit. You know? Yes, dude, this is Source Direct. Woo! Got some hot steppers in the house. Hey, Taye, what's going on? Welcome, lady. Hope your New Year's was well. We'll talk maybe later. Let me know. Yeah, man, Source Direct. I got to get my mind right to talk this techie stuff. And hi. All right. So oh wait, let me. Yeah, me, bro. I DJ it. I do basically pretty much. Okay. All right. I'll give you a call a bit later. Yeah, man. No, I'm a huge jungle D&B fan, dude. Myself as well. Yep. I DJ the stuff, listen to it all the time when I'm in like my brain crunch mode, which is like 85% of the time. So I've always got like some heavy mental music going on, whether it's this stuff, jazz, some beat tape shit, whatever it is, Let's see here. So you want the DJ as well? Man, there's never a bad time to start, bro. Here, let me drop this here. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on the articles. And then anyone wants to come up and kind of chime in on the conversation, that'd be a cool deal. So let's do this. We will start with, wait a minute, which one did I want to start with? It was, oh yeah, this one. All right. So this is from the Independent. Just to kind of let you guys know what the Chinese have up their sleeve. China switches on artificial sun that is 5 times hotter than the real thing. Excuse me, 5 times hotter than the actual real sun. A nuclear fusion reactor in China has set a new record for sustained high temperatures after running 5 times hotter than the sun for more than 17 minutes, according to state media. The experimental advanced superconducting tokamak, known as an artificial sun, reached temperatures of 70 million degrees Celsius during the experiments, Xinhua news agency reported. The ultimate aim of developing the artificial sun device is to deliver near limitless clean energy by mimicking the natural reactions occurring within stars. The recent operation lays a solid scientific and experimental foundation towards the running of a fusion reactor. Gong Jianzhu, a researcher at the Institute of Plasma Physics of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, that's a long ass name, who led the latest experiment, told Xinhua. The EAST project, which has already cost China more than 700 billion, will run the experiment until June. Nuclear fusion has been touted as the holy grail of clean energy production. However, it remains a long way off from being realized outside of a lab, despite decades of research into the technology. Oh yeah, I obviously, you just come out with what a whole new different type of like energy source just to hit the market, and then it's just like, yeah, we have an artificial sun. Replicating the physics of the actual sun, nuclear fusion reactors merge atomic nuclei in order to generate massive amounts of energy that can be turned into electricity. The process requires no fossil fuels and leaves behind no hazardous waste materials, unlike the nuclear fission process that powers commercial nuclear energy production. Physicists also claim that there is also far less risk of an environmental disaster. China's reactor team will also provide technical support from another nuclear fusion reactor mega project currently being constructed in Marseille, France. If you guys ever remember that movie Contact, right? There was that dude who he built this machine, right, that basically would create a magnetic field, right, which would then have basically a magnetic field around it where you could then propel this capsule through an artificially created wormhole, right? So in the movie, there was a disaster that happened, right? When they initially tried testing it and the thing destroyed. But the dude who funded the project was like, well, why would you build one when you could build two for the price of one? Right. So then there was another one, and that's when Jodie Foster does the whole thing and blah, blah, blah. All right. So my whole point is that I knew good and goddamn well this wasn't going to be the only one that they were building. There's another one somewhere. The International Thermonuclear Experiment Reactor, ITER, will be the world's largest reactor once completed. Shit. The UK is also planning to build a nuclear fusion power station as part of a green industrial revolution, with a short list of 5 locations for the site announced last month. The spherical tokamak for energy production STEP project aims to produce a concept design by 2024 and deliver power to people's homes at some point in the 2040s. Oh my God. From news to politics. Oh, well, that's just blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh boy. This is what we're starting 2022 off with. This is what we're doing. We got whole fake suns. Whole fake suns producing energy for homes. Let's see who we've got. Professor Black Ops. Peace. Faber. LOM salute. Faber, you said, why hasn't CERN done this yet? I think the Large Hadron Collider does something different. I think it does something different. Way different. Far more different. Probably coaxing the same type of energy sources, but applied differently. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Give me a second. All right. What was the next one I had? Oh. So, this next article, we've got Nvidia expands its omniverse. So, this is going to be a greater theme that I think we'll expand and explore for 2022. These verses, right? The metaverse, the omniverse, the multiverse. right? There's all these different digital environments, right? That are that basically are fully submersive. Okay, that are going to be coming online, right? So we're gonna be covering these more in detail because see, there's a metaverse, right? But then Nvidia has its omniverse. Omniverse is NVIDIA's platform for allowing creators, designers, and engineers to collaboratively build virtual worlds. It's the company's platform that brings together design tools and assets from first and third party applications into a single hardware and software ecosystem. So this is where the third party applications where we talk about things like NFTs, cryptos, stuff like that, where you can basically we covered it on the cannabis talk. Was it last week or a few days ago or whenever the hell it was? Where there is basically a company that establishes dispensaries in the metaverse. And then let's just say you go in the metaverse, you order your weed, and then it shows up at your actual house. Until now, Omniverse and the various NVIDIA tools that support it were in beta as opposed to alpha or sigma. But at CES today, the company took off the beta label and made Omniverse generally available to creators. Of course, they were going to announce that at CES. And there was one scooter company that actually shot us an invite to CES. We just couldn't go. The company says Omniverse has already been downloaded by almost 100,000 creators, and with today's update, it is bringing a number of new features to the platform too. These include the Omniverse Nucleus Cloud, a service for sharing large Omniverse 3D scenes that will make it possible for creators and clients to collaborate on scenes in a way that is similar to working on a cloud share document. So like sharing a Google Doc. And this is, let's see if we can get there we go. This is essentially how the Omniverse ecosystem works, right? So we've got, one artist collaborating on like certain structural elements, others creating on maybe more of the environmental elements. We're incorporating people who use Blender to render a lot of these graphic the graphic environment, right? And then we're using Adobe, Pixel Logic. We're using Unreal Engine, right, to actually power this environment. If you peep the Assetto Corsa upload we just did earlier this morning, Assetto Corsa is powered by Unreal Engine, okay? And so it's all of these is AI, MDL, physics, path tracing, right? And then we're also talking about USD. So when you add all of this together, it creates this omniverse environment. There we go. At the core of Omniverse is the Universal Scene Description Format, that's the USD, which makes it easy to import assets from a wide variety of existing tools. But sometimes you just want a basic 3D asset and are willing to pay for it. So Nvidia also added support for 3D marketplaces and libraries from the likes of Turbo Squid by Shutterstock, CG Trader, Sketchfab, Twinbrew in the Omniverse launcher. So for those of you would-be user interface, 3D model design houses, startups, right? Take your concepts, throw them onto the marketplace, monetize them. Welcome to 2022. Real Illusion's Actor Core, Dash 3D, and Eon Software's Plant Catalog will soon launch their own Omniverse-ready assets too. Plant Catalog. What do you just take a wild guess as to what you would go here to purchase when putting together your own community in an Omniverse? It's like a virtual garden store or some shit, nursery, right? For free assets, Omniverse is expanding its set of Omniverse Machinima assets with new characters and objects from games like Shadow Warrior 3, Mount and Blade 2, Bannerlord. And when you need your character to speak, Omniverse Audio to Face, an existing AI-enabled app that animates 3D faces with the help of an audio track, now features blend shape support and the ability to export directly to Epic's MetaHuman Creator app. Holy shit. Good God. Oh my God, that's a lot, man. There's a lot. There is a lot in that. Lego to the comments. Well, let me do that right there. Right, we got Dave Tao and a dough piece. Heavy, heavy. All right, so just touching on a few things here, right? So the first article is touching on energy production. Okay, that was sort of the first article is digging into what advances are being done, what's being pushed in terms of energy production, because right now we're looking at when we've been speaking to it, this whole industrial shift, right? New energy markets, electric vehicles, which is about what we're about to tap into now. So just understand, like, we've got the themes are alternative energy, electric vehicles, micromobility, meta, omni, digital verse, digital currencies, right? This is the makeup and the scope of what we're seeing in 2022, right? Now, we also have the political side of things, and this is kind of where we've kind of decided to tread lightly on that because of obviously how like things like YouTube works and stuff like that, right? Like it's just weird, you know, some people can talk about things, some people can't. And what we understand is that with this platform, there's certain things, what we've learned is that we have free reins on certain things, man, get us in trouble. So, but what we can do is touch on the technological movements, and then we can fill in the gaps. You get what I mean? So this is what we're trying to do here. All right, so let's get into let's touch on robotics for a second, right? Because that's another theme. All right, this one is from Small Business Trends. BurgerFi introduces Patty the robot to address labor shortage. Why did you call her Patty? BurgerFi provides providers of all natural, high quality, fresh foods in an eco-friendly environment. Has introduced a series of new technologies and creative strategies, including Patty the robot. The innovative new offerings are designed to combat widespread labor shortages. Okay, this is something that you've been hearing in your mainstream news, right? About like what they call the Great Resignation, and all of these things. Like I said, I want to tread lightly on some of the reasons why we're dealing with that, right? I really want to tread lightly on that, but what I also want to do is flip the mirror on the other side of it, right? Let's just say that there's companies that kind of hedged on this whole sort of environment. This is the reason why we have this new outlook for 2022 and why we're covering what we're covering, right? So let's not talk about that, but let's give some insights as to what industry has largely been hedging on. They've been waiting on a time to roll this out. Like, you don't have companies that create robotics and IoT and AI and all this stuff with no intention of using it. You guys get what I'm saying? At some point, these companies need to make, investors are going to want to make good on their tech investments when it comes to this area. So labor shortages, oddly enough, is the impetus for this. Widespread labor shortage, which has devastated the restaurant industry since the pandemic began. One of the brand's innovations is Patty the robot, which made its debut recently at BurgerFi's Indiantown Road location in Jupiter. I don't know where Jupiter. I'm almost certain I'm not talking about the planet, so there must be some city called Jupiter. The robot interacts with customers, serves meals to tables, and returns trays to the kitchen. Patty is designed to know the layout of the restaurants and thereby interact with guests efficiently. So it's just all geotracing. Take an app on the phone, you walk the path, and then you go, okay, send the robot on this path. Very simple. It's the same thing that we do with the IoT stuff. The new addition to the BurgerFi team is aimed at supporting employees, creating more seamless and efficient business operations, as well as enhancing the guest experience. You guys, let me know in the chat. Uh, would having a robot server um, enhance your experience? Overcoming the labor shortage issues, the COVID 19 pandemic has led to labor shortages in the restaurant industry. Such staff shortages inevitably negatively affect the standard of services restaurants provide. During these testing times, it's important small businesses innovate and implement different strategies to help overcome challenges such as labor shortages and remain competitive. Small business owners should use BurgerFi's rollout of new innovations as testament of the importance of innovating, implementing technology, and new business strategies to overcome challenges, whether those challenges were intentional or not. As Carl Goodhue, Chief Technology Officer at BurgerFi, comments, while the entire restaurant industry faces macro headwinds, BurgerFi is determined to be resilient and forward thinking. Leveraging technology is a key factor in delivering guest and employee happiness. Patty may be the answer to employee shortages across the hospitality industry. By integrating automation with human operations, we give our employees the support they need and our guests the experience they crave. Do you guys crave an experience? I love that. I love that. What I like corporate speak. You crave that experience, don't you? Yeah. Our I'm sorry. Our our employees will always be the most important part of the guest experience, and robots will allow them to continue to focus on great hospitality. Goodhue continued. In-car ordering, QR technology, and ghost kitchens. Oh shit! If y'all want to know what we got up our sleeves, it's this. It's this right here, basically, right there. Got a couple projects on the table, man. Can't talk about them yet, but it involves ghost kitchens. Besides the rollout of Patty the Robot, BurgerFi is introducing in-car ordering, QR technology, and ghost kitchens. The sustainable burger brand will be the first restaurant to launch in-car ordering in the new generation of 5G interactive cars that will be available in the summer of 2021. We're going to talk about one of those cars here in a little bit. Through a partnership with Mavi.io, customers will be able to order BurgerFi food from their car by using their voice or the car's interactive dashboard. The burger brand is also testing QR code table ordering to optimize the service. I mean, God, we're just removing the human element altogether. That's why I was like, do you guys really crave this experience? I mean, like I said, I'm gonna wait. I'll expand on it. I'll give you my thoughts on all of this shit after I read this. QR codes can reduce wait times while enabling employees to focus on the preparation of fresh food. The company has also announced the launch of 25 ghost kitchens. Okay, I need Alonzo. Alonzo, if you're listening, bro, we need to get that hedge/business group together. Okay. Because yeah, okay, yeah. Designed to cater for escalating consumer demand for delivery, the ghost kitchens help BurgerFi bring its products to more customers while expanding its reach into new markets. The innovative brand is also testing self-ordering kiosks. Okay, that's just another form of automation. Highly visible tech units which help diners select the meal and pay with greater ease and convenience. Well, you know, you go into your McDonald's, Taco Bells, and all that stuff. They basically all have those nowadays. BurgerFi's success story shows that with dedication, determination, creativity, and the willingness to embrace new technology and innovation, businesses can overcome challenges and generate and sustain growth. Let's take a looky-loo at the chatto. What is with these bots, yo? Like, seriously, man. Jeez. Diaspora, what's going on, bro? Peace. There's another bot. Get out of here. Mike Shinnery, what's going on, brother? It's been a minute. Peace, man. Diaspora, yeah, oh yeah, man. This is Source Direct, man. This is some that real jungle DMB. It's the real stuff. All right, let's take a look. And now Mike V shot this one through. And I'm like super interested in myself. Peep game on this one, y'all. Daring 60-mile-an-hour electric scooter racing league to begin drafting male and female riders. Dude, I'm down. I'm so down. I'm so freaking down. We followed the development of the e-scooter championship since its inception in the mid-2020. There's just something about racers on a 60-mile-an-hour electric scooter speeding around the track while standing up that boggles the mind. I'm all about that action, fam. I'm all about it. Early reports of the nascent racing league saw its developers working to turn the ESC into a respectable organized racing event, and recent signs show that the effort has been largely successful as the league prepares to draft the first racers. How the F do I sign up? The group is also working on shirking many of the common barriers to racing today, such as economic hurdles and gender inequality. Oh, God damn it. Don't make this a gender issue. It's not a gender issue. Racing is always a money issue. It just takes money to race, dude. Like, it doesn't really matter. Okay, dude, I spent years in karting, done other shit, and it's like, if chicks want to race, they can race. Their dads want to pay for this shit, or they got the money and they want to build a car up, take it out there, build a cart, join a team. It's money. Nothing's stopping you based on gender, man. It's all about the money. The ESC is expected to begin drafting riders this month to fill its racing teams. Okay, I'm out here in Cali. Where's the team at, dude? Where do I sign up? For the first 2 seasons, the initial group of racers will be professional athletes drawn from motorsports and other sporting organizations such as cycling and skating. The fuck do they know about scooters? Well, maybe cycling. Okay, skating. Anyway, you want some race? Well, they said drawn from motorsports. Okay. The organizers want to begin with professional athletes that are accustomed to high-speed riding and racing in particular, which will give them time to assess safety concerns that could crop up as racing begins. I would say be an avid scooter rider like myself, who knows how to ride a scooter at a high speed. That's why I'm raising my hand to get drafted. After a few seasons, entry will be open up to other enthusiasts that may not have a history of racing. A potential junior league has also been floated, which would allow talented young riders to work their way up to the big leagues. Look at that. Okay, first of all, we got slicks, dual disc brakes. While the pro racers will make up initial flock of riders, the ECS hopes to part with many of the racing industry's common trends. Racing circuits like F1 are known to be something of a rich man's game, and the ESC is hoping to keep costs down to prevent the new league from becoming dominated by wealthy elite teams. I just told you, dude, racing is always about the money. It's not cheap to do. In another departure from traditional racing stereotypes, the ESC will draft its field of riders from both male and female members. The goal is to create a gender-neutral field that further opens up the sport. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna stay out of that one. The ESC also hopes to help further bridge the industry of personal mobility with the high performance racing world. I'm gonna tell you right now, all you gotta do is just race these things on kart tracks. The ESC is creating a new movement in sport, a sport with purpose and real-world relevance at its heart, championing smarter, safer, and more sustainable mobility choices for all. ESC is focused on the point at which motorsport and new mobility meet. I'm about that. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna do something else after I read this article. I'm gonna actually drop my email address. Regulating for fairness and high standards for competitors on the track, and advocating for fairness and high standards for new mobility consumers on the road. That looks pretty. I like the I like the lines on all this. It's a bit sexy. All racers will use the same model of electric scooter developed for the league. Okay, so e-scooter S1X, the e-scooter. I wonder who made it. Scooter, his top speed is 62 miles an hour. Is powered by a pair of 6,000 watt motors. Oh shit! That's all motor right there. Boom. Okay, then that's not an error. That's not a. I don't. Is this an inflatable tire? Let's see. To hopefully keep the scooter from losing front wheel traction in corners, that powerful front motor has its torque dialed back a bit for safety. Okay, so they have a controller, right, that has torque biasing between the motors. So that means the rear motor kicks out more power than the front. Let's see here. Which will likely be pretty darn important, as these scooters are designed to push hard and lean up to 50 degrees in the corners. Yeah, I wonder if they know how to do that lean, though. I know how to lean that bitch. Power is controlled by a typical hand throttle, and there's a second boost button that can even apply more power in the straightaways. Oh, shit. Look at that. Ooh. I want. The carbon fiber 77-pound scooter rolls on 6.5-inch wheels. Really? 6.5s? Yeah, no, that is small because, dude, the Xiaomi's have 8.5s. And my Porsche scooter has a 10-inch wheel. Shit. Okay. Well, let's see what that's about. Which are even smaller than they sound. Fortunately, the race course, which is expected to be between 400 to 1,000 meters long, yeah, that's a kart track, is especially constructed to provide as safe of a surface possible for those small wheels. Yeah, it's a kart track. The scooters are each powered by a 1.33 kilowatt battery, which is actually a rather low capacity for a 12 kilowatt scooter. But yeah, I was gonna say you need its weight versus distance, so you need to optimize here. So yeah, at this rate for a 10-minute sprint, no, it'll just dump, and it saves weight on the scooter. Each race will operate in heats of 6 races with the. Okay, so they're gonna do like a whatchamacallit, like A main, B main, and then or like they do heats and then probably like an A and a B main. Each race will operate in a heat of 6 racers, with the finalists advancing to the championship run of 10 racers. Okay, the smaller heats will presumably reduce the carnage and eventual body count. God damn, really? Speaking of carnage, the scooters are designed with a kill switch to cut off power if the rider becomes separated from his or her. Okay, so there's probably like this little thing, this little dongle, and it plugs into something, and like basically, if you get sent off, boop, it cuts the power. Racing is expected to begin at some point this year, though we haven't received any definitive dates from ESC yet. We'll be sure to report back as soon as we do. Until then, let's hear your thoughts on this wild new electric racing series. Damn, look at that scooter. Hold on, let me get a good look at that shit. I bet you, you know what? Let me shut up. I have an idea, but I don't want to say it out loud. I'm going to talk to my factory in China, though, about it. Let's just say that. I have an idea. Tutriv, peace. You think what you said you think about will play an issue. Wait. What do I think will play an issue? What do you mean? What do you mean, Mike? Weight? Yeah, weight does play an issue. Yeah, it does. Like the Porsche scooter that I have, that I import, it's super light. It's basically, yeah, because these devices are so small, right? You basically have a battery, motor, controller, and it's just a metal frame. But okay, so what determines some of the characteristics? One is wheel diameter. Okay, the type of tire, is it a solid tire or is it an air-filled tire? Okay. And then it's the diameter on that. Like you can have an 8.5 inch air tire or solid tire. You can have a 10-inch solid tire air tire. Okay. All these things are going to lend to different ride characteristics. Then is the motor put on the front of the scooter? So is the front wheel, is the motor on the front wheel or is it on the rear? Right. Is the battery mounted in the neck of the scooter or in the chassis, where you're standing? Right. So all of these things determine like weight characteristics and stuff like that. So, all right, let's see here. Let me go to the other, because I think sometimes I miss other chats and stuff. Let's see here. Okay. So yeah, we're looking at micromobility as a motorsport and micromobility. Okay. We're looking at bots inside your restaurants. We're looking at alternative energy sources that mimic the sun, that crank out 5 times more heat than the sun. At least this is what we're being told, right? This is literally what's hitting the wire. First week of January, right? So this is like the outlook, and we'll cover more of this, because there's a lot more to things like the omniverse and metaverse and all that. Like I said, we already covered buying weed in the metaverse. Nvidia's got their own omniverse. It's getting, and there's a whole developer ecosystem, right? So I think that's going to be a future tech talk where we're going to talk about how leveraging all of the different types of certifications, areas of development in terms of tech and IT and all that stuff, and how we can actually leverage that from a development standpoint in the metaverse and these omniverse environments. Okay. This isn't just simply something to where, it's like, oh, get your NFT on or something. No, everything that we've been talking about the last few years crescendos into this. So now with that Nvidia article, we covered basically the developer ecosystem. There's a marketplace for your metaverse and omniverse editions, right? People can go in, buy the assets that you create for these things and put into that. There's a whole different environment that's coming online right now, and this is why we're calling this a 2022 outlook, because these are going to be the subject matters that we're going to be focalizing on in 2022, right? Deep dives are going to be all in this. We gave you guys the IoT one just a few weeks ago, so expect like a metaverse, omniverse deep dive and all of that. Now, here's another indicator of what's going on here. I'm going to bring this article up. Give me a second. Oh, okay, Mike, you said like horsepower versus torque. Oh, okay. Well, no. When you're dealing with electric, you're always torque. Torque is king when you're dealing with electric motor. There's no other type of propulsion mechanism that produces more torque than an electric motor. Yeah. Anytime an internal combustion engine car, or even say a hybrid car for that matter, tries to get with an electric car, it's over. Just go look at all of the videos where like a Tesla that's running like on the plaid setting just smokes pretty much anything that runs up against it. Wait, was it? Here we go. Okay, this one is from TechCrunch. With Intel's Mobileye newest chip, automakers can bring automated driving to cars. Now, why is this important? Because what we saw at the onset, well, we started to see this prior to the onset of the pandemic, but it accelerated greatly during that, and coming out of it, it's still an issue. Chips, right? These chips that your traditional cars need. Okay, there's a shortage of them. We don't want to get into that at the moment. However, we've covered that, and let's just say it has a lot to do with trade issues, because a lot of those chips come from where? China. So, in the EV sector, in the EV environment, though, Not so much, right? Like these types of vehicles are reliant upon different systems. Okay, this is where companies like Intel, who already make chips for basic ass computers and stuff like that, can come right into the fray and offer up chips to uh, electric vehicle developers because they use different componentry than your traditional internal combustion vehicles. Intel subsidiary Mobileye plans to bring a new supercomputer to market designed to give passenger cars, trucks, and SUVs autonomous driving powers. The company introduced Tuesday at the 2022 CES Tech Trade Show a new system on chip called IQ Ultra that is purpose built for autonomous driving. The company said the first silicon for the IQ Ultron SoC, which is capable of 176 trillion operations per second. I'm gonna say that again. 176 trillion operations per second is expected at the end of 2023 with full automotive grade production in 2025. The company also introduced at CES its next generation IQ system on chip for advanced driver assistance systems called EQXX and EQXX. The EQXX is designed to support so-called level 2 autonomous driving, blah blah blah, and is expected to reach the start of production by mid 2023. Okay, so why are we saying 2022 is the pivot year? Why do we say that everything's gonna fucking change? Why do we say this shit? This is giving you a heads up, right? Because this is say 2020 was your reset year, right? I'm gonna tread lightly on that, but it was your reset year. In 2021 was the first year after your reset year. 2022 basically says, okay, we understand the post 20 pandemic thing, right? Okay, here's what we do going forward. This is the reason why we're all looking at 2023, 2024, 2023, 2025. This is why we're all looking at launch and production schedules and all that, literally to start cramming in now to fill the need for the next 2 years. Just giving you a heads up what's coming. Company also introduced the okay. We'll support a partial autonomous vehicle driving capable. Okay. This higher performing chip will be available to provide all advanced driving assistance functions, multi-camera processing, including parking cameras, and will host third-party apps such as parking visualization and driver monitoring. Mobileye is perhaps best known for supplying automakers with computer vision technology that powers advanced driver assistance programs. Its first IQ chip launched in 2004. That's a typo. Its first IQ chip was launched in 2004 and was used in vehicles to prevent collisions. TechCrunch, that was a huge fucking typo. Really? Who's your editor? It's been a booming business for Mobileye, which as of late last year, the company has shipped its 100 millionth IQ SoC. Wow! 100 million of these things? What the fuck are these chips all in? I'm curious. What are they putting these chips? Oops. What are they putting these chips in? 100 million of them? Oh my God. In recent years, the company has pursued what seems like a dual strategy of supplying automakers with the chips they need for advanced driving assistance systems, while it developed and tested its own autonomous vehicle technology. You may as well hit both ends. Oh yes, because at some point there's going to be conversions, and guess what? You're going to say, "Come to daddy." In 2018, Mobileye even expanded its focus beyond being a mere supplier to become a robo-taxi operator. That's what I'm talking about. You got to get that data from other operators, other vendors, and have in mind your own crazy concept. I'm trying to get you guys to think like megalomaniacs. These two paths are now converging, fulfilling a long-time strategy of Mobileye President and CEO Anman Shashua, who describes consumer AVs as the end game for the industry. Mobileye has been developing automated vehicle technology for several years now. Its full self-driving stack, which includes redundant sensing subsystems based on camera, radar, and LiDAR technologies, combined with its REM mapping system and a rules-based responsibility-sensitive safety RSS driving policy. Mobileye's REM mapping system crowdsources data. Well, was I just telling you, dude? Like, what you do is you put it out, and then you crowdsource that data, and then it gives you the insights. Crowdsource data by tapping into consumer and fleet vehicles equipped with it. That's why it shipped out 100 million chips. It was gathering data. Or fourth generation system on chip to build high definition maps that can be used to support ADAS and autonomous driving systems. The data is not video or images, but compressed text that collects about 10 kilobits per 10 kilometer. Ooh, I wonder what the mapping technology, which has informed the development of its new EQXX chip, is assessed via the cloud to provide in real time, up-to-date information on the drivable paths ahead. If you've been collecting data since 2004 and you got 100 million chips in operation somewhere, you've got a lot of data. Mobileye has agreements with 6 OEMs, including BMW, Nissan, Volkswagen, to collect data on vehicles equipped with the EQ4 chip, which is used to power the advanced driver assistance system. On fleet vehicles, Mobileye collects data from an aftermarket product it sells to commercial operators. That's probably just something that plugs into the OBD2. Today, moreover, is that another fucking typo? Okay. Today, moreover, 1 million vehicles harvesting. That's a typo. That's a typo. It should say today, over more than 100 million vehicles are harvesting REM data. That's what it should say. Who is your editor? Now up to 25 million kilometers per day, according to Mobileye. The IQ Ultra continues to build off of previous generations of its SoC architecture. The IQ Ultra crams the processing power of 10 IQ5s in a single package, according to Mobileye. The company said the IQ Ultra, which is engineered with Mobileye software, oh my God, okay, it's not R paired, it is paired. Oh my God, TechCrunch, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Is paired with additional CPU cores, ISPs, and GPUs, and is capable, not are, and is capable. They outsourced the editing. I know they did. They outsourced the editing. And is capable of processing input from two sensing subsystems, one camera only system and the other radar and LiDAR combined, as well as the vehicle's central computing system, the high definition REM maps, and RSS driving policy software. Automakers keen on selling cars, trucks, and SUVs to consumers that are capable of autonomous driving would theoretically use this yet to be available chip to execute that goal. That's why I'm keenly interested in this. Because you could just, there's like pre-existing platforms you can get, and then you just throw this, you just throw like a whatever the actual CPU itself that will run this chip, you just plug it in and boom, just do the software configuration. IQ Ultra doesn't include the sensors like radar and LiDAR. Instead, it processes all that incoming information, so you can just use like your own peripherals. It's up to the automaker customer to decide exactly how the IQ Ultra chip might be used. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like basically, it's just you add your peripherals, and basically build it out from there. We're going to cover an example of that in just a second. For instance, an automaker might offer new vehicles capable of autonomous driving only on highways, while another might focus on automation in urban areas. Let's see here. Who do we got? LaSound. Peace. Welcome. Wacky-O, what's going on, bro? Welcome, man. Jack A. Peace to the Black Brain Trust. I just want to say that I appreciate you all being live, basically whenever you want, and to make sure that you read all the fine print before signing it. Wise words. Truth is, I know it. Peace, brother. Welcome. The sound, you said this is fascinating. I've had an idea to potentially get into product sound design. Interesting. I read books that discuss the innovation of how to make devices quieter, but also give us information. Dude, you need to look into the research that went into the noise that the Tesla cars, they actually generate the noise. Okay. I think another thing to look into, Formula E, to kind of hone in on making the motorsport more appealing. They with each generation of car, what they've done is they've also experimented with the sound of the car, right? So I think sound dynamics as it pertains to electric vehicles and stuff like that. So for example, like, people are drawn to like the engine note of a V8, a V6, a turbocharged four-cylinder, a V12 even, right? They all have distinct notes. I think one thing that may actually be something of interest for you to look into, right, is sound designing for EVs and shit, right? I don't know. I'm just dude. This is like this is some new futuristic shit, dude. And it's a thing. It's a thing because I know Tesla has dumped a lot of money into it to like get certain sound aesthetics out of their vehicles. And like I said, Formula E does this with every generation. I think they're up to the third or fourth generation of the Formula E race car, right? And after the first with the second generation, one of the things that they focused on was the sound that the car produced, right? That was a big thing that they kept hammering in on with every update of that car. Sound is a thing. That is very much a thing within the EV space, and I think you should dive into that more. This is from CNET Road and Show. The Mercedes Vision EQXX is a 621-mile luxury hypermiler. Okay, this is exactly where I wanted to go. This is exactly where I wanted to go with this type of stuff. So, sound designing for things like high-end electric cars and stuff where they have distinct sounds, right, that really do fit the overall aesthetic of the car. Listen, man, automotive manufacturers, especially if they're trying to key in on this new EV market, right? Things like sound, man, the sound a car makes, these are going to be selling points, man. This research concept went from sketches to the real world in just 18 months. It's loaded with advancements that could be in your next EV. Jesus, look at that. In the weeks preceding the reveal of the Mercedes Vision EQXX concept, which is destined for CES 2022, I interviewed Mercedes-Benz chief Ola, I forgot how to say the A with the little two dots over it, but whatever, about the concept car. In one line, he summed up the entire mantra of this new research vehicle. In an electric era, the new currency is efficiency. That thought is what drove the company to create this car in just 18 months, and the result is mighty impressive. Mercedes-Benz on Monday unveiled the Vision EQXX research car, a soup-to-nuts reimagination of a luxury electric vehicle with efficiency at the forefront, thanks to a wide variety of technologies, many of which are destined for series production vehicles in the not-too-distant future. This rolling R&D laboratory is capable of driving more than 1,000 kilometers, 621 miles on a single charge. Ooh-wee. Here we go. Engineers could have simply slapped 200 kilowatt hours worth of batteries into the car to reach that number, which is stupid because now you're talking about weight versus power, and you're actually working against the grain by doing this. But that wasn't exactly allowed. We said, what if you could drive 1,000 kilometers on one charge, but you're not allowed to put a monster battery in the car? I love this kind of thinking. and it must resemble a real car that can carry 4 people, and it must be done with technology that can end up in a series car. Kalyanius, I think that's how you say it, Kalyanius, said in an interview with Roadshow. The challenge to the R&D department was set, and in just a year and a half, the EQXX went from sketches to a real drivable concept. Now, look, let me break something down to you guys. You want to know how and why that is? This is a very simple answer. I'll tell you why. How that is because a good portion of a lot of the technology that is used to put this together was largely developed and tested in Formula One and other various forms of motorsport, where they were using like exotic energy recapture systems, capacitor systems, and all of these various softwares, right, that literally pull energy from various aspects of the car. So, perfect example, what a Formula One car, like the brakes generate heat. Heat is a form of energy. What if you could recapture the heat energy, dump that into a capacitor, and then push a button to get a boost out of heat energy? What about exhaust? Exhaust is spent energy. What if you can capture, right, the energy from spent exhaust gases in the form of a turbo? So what happens is that off the exhaust manifold, instead of just going right out of the exhaust pipe, that exhaust gas actually goes into a turbine, and then it spins and then forces air back into the intake, where it mixes with a more exotic air fuel mixture ratio to create more energy, which generates more energy to then recapture to then use back. It's like it's nuts. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. The challenge of the R&D department was set, and in just a year and a half, the EQXX went from sketches to a real drivable concept. In the near future, the automaker will put its money where its mouth is and attempt a 621-mile trip across Europe on a single charge. Because what good is this exercise if it doesn't have a real-world impact? I mean, what the fuck? What are we doing this for, right? Now, here's the other aspect, aerodynamics, right? Drag coefficient. Form doesn't follow function here. Instead, the Vision EQXX's form defines its function. Being able to slice through the air efficiently will dramatically increase an electric vehicle's range, which is why a car's, what did I just say? Drag coefficient will become an increasingly important figure in the future. Now, just with that, the esports upload I did earlier, I was talking about the fact that the car, when I was doing the run, it kept getting from behind me, so to speak, right? The rear wheels kept getting loose. And that's because I had a decreased drag coefficient in the rear. When I increase it, what it does is I didn't. Yeah, you got to increase it. So what that does is you're going to create more drag, and what that does is that's more force of the air pushing down on the car. So in certain situations and scenarios, you kind of actually may want more drag so that you get more grip. But in the reverse, in this scenario here, if what we're going for is energy efficiency, then what we want as much of a reduced drag coefficient as possible. That means that the car uses less energy to slice through the air. Got it? Good. Okay. Which is why the car's drag coefficient will become an increasingly important figure in the future. By the automaker's own measurements, the Vision EQXX offers a seriously impressive drag coefficient efficiency of just 0.17. That's not a big number. Mercedes is no stranger to low drag coefficients, as the EQS electric luxury sedan is also quite the slippery beast with its 0.20 rating. See, the name of the game with EVs is drag coefficient. They have to slice through the air. That way, they use less energy. But drag is just one part of the equation, and it can't keep getting lower forever. Once you get down to 0.18, it gets very difficult to lower that number. To stay around 0.20 or below, you're coming up against the natural border to a degree. So you're literally talking about physics, right? Like, there's only but so much you can do given certain parameters to defy the laws of physics. Okay, and so what they've determined here is that for what you're trying to build in a car based on the parameters that you're doing it, like this is it, 0.8 to 0.20 in terms of drag coefficients. That's why the EQXX packs such a dramatic silhouette, especially at the rear. Yeah, because you have to have a teardrop, right? Like what's understood, and this is basically in all. This is okay. So this is like actually even derived from nature. The most efficient shape is a teardrop. Okay. So if you take a teardrop and you turn it sideways, what do you have? You have an airplane wing. If you go up and look at this car right here, look at the shape of it. It's like a teardrop. This is the most efficient shape in nature. But narrowness does play a part with the EQXX2. The rear track is 50 millimeters, nearly 2 inches narrower than the front. Like everything, it requires a trade-off, and in this case, it's the vehicle's dynamics. From an aero point of view, it's better with a narrower track, Kalyanius said, but from a performance point of view, it's better with a wider rear track. So I don't think that will become the new standard, but it's food for thought. Okay, so this is still a working case study. Tires also matter. There you go. Because the friction between the rubber and the road is yet another place where efficiency can be lost. This is very true. That is why you see many efficient cars in the modern era with tires built specifically to reduce rolling resistance, which again has performance trade-off in the name of effectiveness. Here, Mercedes teamed up with Bridgestone to develop a 20-inch tire to wrap around the EQXX's forged magnesium wheels. Now, okay, forged magnesium is light. Okay, there's forged magnesium, and then you can go carbon fiber. Okay, so here's what we did. So it's a concept in motorsport. It's called unsprung weight. Okay, so there's parts of the vehicle that is not supported by the suspension. Okay, so there's unsprung weight. There's sprung weight, which is everything that sits on the car that attaches to the suspension, right? But then there's the things that are attached to the suspension arm, which is not affected by the dynamics of spring rate and spring movement, right? So one thing that you can do to increase acceleration is reduce the weight of the actual wheel itself, right? So that means that the power that a motor has to apply to the wheel is less because there's less rotational mass, right? So you start with a very light material like magnesium, or if you really want, if price isn't an issue, you go carbon fiber. It's worth noting that, like many other concept cars, the EQXX does not give us a look at what's to come from the design department. In its press release, Mercedes notes that the headlight and front bumper give us a good idea where the company's front-end design language will head next. While the Vision EQXX's exterior is all about efficiency through aerodynamic engineering, its interior is all about efficiency through materials science. The sound. This is in your wheelhouse. There are so many materials in here that rely on nature or are otherwise environmentally friendly. The door pulls are made from a vegan silk-like fabric. Some seat cushion pieces are wrapped in something called Milo, which is a vegan leather alternative made from mycelium fungi. I've heard about this. There's actually they're using mushrooms to make this stuff. There's a dude, what's the name of his channel? Shit. It's a brother who has a YouTube channel. He has a mushroom farm in Oregon, and some of the mushrooms that he grows, they use actually for textiles. A different leather alternative is created from cactus fibers. The carpets are made from pure bamboo fiber. Shit. Which both feels fancy and grows quickly in nature. That's such two opposed observations. One, it feels fancy. Oh, by the way, it grows quickly in nature. Floor and door trim pieces rely on recycled PET bottles, while the microfiber material above the belt line relies on the same material. Finally, the interior also uses something called UBQ material, which is made from landfill waste. Wow. While the materials and style are certainly impressive, we have to talk about the screen. Cayenius didn't have a name for it, but I call it the hyper screen. Whereas the dashboard of the production EQS can be outfitted with several screens under bonding glass to create the impression of a dashboard-sized display, the Vision EQXX takes the technology to its inevitable conclusion, spanning 47.5. Shit, that's huge. 47.5 inches from A pillar to A pillar. That's literally across. That's the whole dash. Wow. With 8K resolution, the hyper screen is truly a seamless display that fills the front half of the car. I was like, yeah, that goes across the whole damn car. Mercedes worked with Navis Automotive Systems to create a navigation system that offers real-time 3D navigation, while the next generation of automakers, Hey Mercedes, digital assistants. What? Hey Mercedes? It's it's kind of like, when you go, Alexa, and then fill in the blank. I guess you're going to go, Hey Mercedes, and then fill in the blank. Digital assistant has been tweaked to sound even more natural. Hey, the sound, that's you, bro. The Vision EQXX even applies the idea of boosting efficiency to the audio system. Oh, once again, bro. Many high-end startups simply throw more speakers into the car, which can eat up electrons unnecessarily. Once again, energy efficiency. To remedy this, engineers reduced the number of speakers and placed them closer to each occupant's seat. Oh, so now we're looking at sound engineering. Efficiency through engineering. You're probably used to seeing the new electric vehicles packing mind-bending horsepower and torque figures, but as you might have guessed by now, that wouldn't exactly jibe with the Vision EQXX. Instead, this concept's electric motors produce just 201 horsepower because speeding is only going to slow the car down in the long run. I like the thinking. In order to engineer every inch of efficiency possible into the EQXX, Mercedes looked into its Mercedes-AMG High Performance Powertrains department in the UK. Am I a prophet or what? These are the same galaxy brains in charge of ensuring Formula One cars make the most with the least. What was I telling y'all? Formula One cars, motorsport is the test bed for every goddamn thing that automotive manufacturers plan to use in their production cars in the future. For all you Honda heads, VTEC was used in the Formula One cars that Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost used to spank the shit out of people with back in the late 80s, early 90s McLaren days before VTEC found its way into the Acura NSX, the Honda Civic SIs, and the Acura Integras. Real shit. After a ton of hard work, Mercedes engineers created an entirely new battery pack for the EQXX, which offers a hair under 100 kilowatts of charge storage. Changing the composition of the battery's anodes allowed the company to improve the battery's energy density, along with a clean sheet design that prioritized room for cells and low weight. Many of the electronic components required to run the EV were placed in a different location to further boost that density. The battery's 900-volt architecture packs even more power than what is available in the preppiest EV powertrains that on offer today. So we've got basically a power pack that is more than what's needed, but then we've got a powertrain that uses less than what's accustomed. I love it. Then what we're doing is we're leveraging hypermiling. Oh man, these guys got it. Engineering isn't limited to the powertrain either. The battery's cooling plate is placed under the battery to make use of the air flowing under the EQX's body. So it's got like a heat exchanger underneath the car. An active system of valves and pumps was built to keep the temperature optimal without requiring a bunch of energy to do so. Active shutters can redirect air to provide additional cooling as needed, closing when necessary to further boost overall range. Now, what they mean by that is that within the car, like okay, if you open like up certain shutters on the car, right, that means that you're opening up channels for air to flow through. Now, when you open up these channels and you allow air to flow through the car and into the car to collect into something to serve a purpose with regards to cooling, you create drag. Why? Because now you're kind of creating like mini parachutes, right? The air comes in, right? So now it's slowing the car down ever so slightly by creating drag. But you can open and close these shutters, right? So if you close them, that means the air just flows right over. And then you're like, oh shit, battery's running a little hot. You open the shutters up, air flows through and cools them down. Active shutters can be okay, so yeah, here we go. Not that the shutters are terribly inefficient. According to Mercedes, they only add up to 0.007 to the drag coefficient when opened up. So that's what okay, well, it's not much. It's not much, but like I said, as soon as you open that up, it does increase the drag coefficient. Wow, that car's gorgeous. Now, the solar cells have yet to make a dramatic effect on modern vehicle efficiency for the new models that offer it, but the nevertheless. After all, the sun is just sitting there in the sky. It may as well put to use. Yeah, I agree. 117 solar cells are common to help power the car's auxiliary system, which the automaker says can add up to 15 miles of range on long distance trips. Drivers in Phoenix say they're likely to get more from this system than drivers in Boston, but it's still going to help. And with Mercedes working alongside German scientists on solar tech, there's a good chance we'll see more of this in the future. And then there's the parts you can't even see. EQXX's rear floor is made from a single aluminum casting. In fact, it's the largest aluminum structural casting that Mercedes makes, carrying the ironically bulky name of Bionics Bionic QXX. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, don't even ask me how to say that. The one part casting is the result of 4 months of manufacturing R&D, offering the right stiffness for crash protection while staying lightweight enough to avoid dinging the efficiency. Part of its low weight comes from engineers mimicking biological structures found in nature, where structural support only appears where it's absolutely necessary. Basically, triangulation. UBQ recycled landfill material is used to fill some gaps in the aluminum to keep the weight down and from water from seeping in. Mercedes Vision EQXX is not a concept car in the sense that it's filled with fantastical technology that will remain either too unwieldy or expensive for use in the series production passenger vehicles. It's actually what the company calls a research car, similar to the F015 concept from 2015, where the focus is on the highlighting technologies that not only can but will be put in the car. So that's what I'm saying. They take all that Formula One tech and then they make a rolling test bed like this, and then they go, okay, hey, in the future, everything you see in here will be in our series cars. So it's like the in between. This car is the in between the F1 cars used to get all of the tech. Then they do a test bed like this to give you an idea of what it's going to look like, and then they'll roll it out into their production cars. The battery technology is next gen. It's technology that we're going to use in series production cars pretty much one-to-one. In 2024, what I tell y'all. And the same goes for the drivetrain, many of other things on the vehicle. So not only is the Vision EQXX worth your attention because it's impressive, but it also shouldn't be counted out because what you see here may very well help your next electric vehicle extend its range in a major way. Let's take a look at this car. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. That's very much Mercedes. That's very much Mercedes. Mercedes. It doesn't look like the typical Mercedes, but that is Mercedes right there. Wow. Good grief. What is with these bots, man? Haha, Miss A, salute to all the hot steppers. You know it, sis. How are you doing? No, what truth, you said I came late. What we're talking about tech making and engineered sound. Well, we're talking about sound engineering being a part of electric vehicle development and engineering. Yeah, it's actually the other way around. They actually pump a small amount of sound into some muscle car speakers to amplify the experience of starting an engine. Yeah, but all these things are going to be like key elements in the development of electric cars going forward. Mushroom polymers variant. Yeah, dude. Like I said, there's a guy on YouTube, the brother in Oregon, who has a mushroom lab, and there's one type of mushroom that they grow, and they grow it for textiles, for polymers and shit. Yeah. That I read about brand voice to voice design specific. Yeah, man, this is all some real heavy shit, man, that we're looking at here in terms of what tech is looking like going forward from 2022 onward. Yeah, Ryle, it's crazy, bro. Like they are popping up every goddamn where, dude. It's fucking annoying. Thanks, O. I appreciate it. So let's see. I think that was the last article. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Okay, let's see what's up here. Make sure I didn't miss any comments. Yeah, I got everybody here. So, this was just kind of like a 2022 primer, man. We'll start covering some articles on very interesting things that are coming down the pike, right? Because now it seems like everybody is doing basically pivoting 2023, 2024, right? So 2021 was gathering your collective thoughts or you're getting your marbles together after 2020, right? Business has to move forward. 2022 says, okay, we're standing firm on what we're looking to do going forward, right? So everybody's now back to having that mindset of like having to compete with everybody else in the market. Jesus, not another one. Getting to the market penetration, market saturation, niche markets. Listen, we're 2 years in or after the whole pandemic thing. See, so the reality is that if business is going to happen, it's going to happen, and it's got to happen. And everybody's throwing it out here like, hey, well, listen, we're moving forward, right? So in order to move forward, we need to know what's coming down the pike. And like I said, when we covered that omniverse article from TechCrunch with regards to Nvidia's omniverse, what we saw is that there's a whole developer marketplace, and that's going to be, like I said, that's going to be a deep dive that we're gonna get into. These are going to be sort of like the themes for 2022, right? Omniverse, metaverse, EVs. Still is going to be cybersecurity, because that's always of heavy importance. IoT. It's all the same shit. Now, you know what? I'm kind of afraid to do this because of all these damn bots and shit. But what I did want to do, and you know, maybe I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna talk with Rayo and Alonzo before I actually vocalize what I want to say. I'll talk to them first, but I want to I want to do something. I want to do something behind the scenes, man. And you know, we're trying to open it up. Let's just say that from a business standpoint, right? You know, we got company decks, product decks. We got everything like ready to go. We just need participation. So something I don't want to, because I'm not really too sure about like the maturity of, you know, the manosphere writ large, right? I don't know if like the majority of people are really ready to get hands on, right? But we're all stacked and ready to go, and we're doing it. But you know, that's a whole other conversation. So let's see here. I think that's pretty much going to be it for this tech talk. Sorry it took a minute to do it. It's like I said, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Like scheduling this on New Year's during the weekend. That was stupid. Um. So yeah, man. You know, that'll pretty much wrap up this tech talk. Maybe we'll come back for an open chat or a Sapio joint a little later or something like that. I'm gonna check some emails, run an errand or two, get some lunch. You know, wait for my baby cakes to get out of school. Maybe we'll come back a little bit later. All right, folks. Make sure you hit the like button, share this. You know, sound okay, man. Are you subbed to? Or you obviously you're subbed. Here, let me do this. Okay, I just added you as a moderator, so just keep abreast. Cause like I said, what I'll do is I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna figure this out, man. Cause I really do want to. I want to move on some stuff, man. And it's like this isn't like theoretical type shit. It's like our companies are moving, and you know, it just takes like, you know, partners and operators and developers and shit like that to join us. You know, that's what it takes. So, yeah, fuck it. Here you go. Do this. Yeah, no, you know, I'll talk to Raul and Alonso first. I'll do that and put something together. All right, folks. Appreciate you guys for rolling through. You know, we had like a steady, you know, 20 something people checking in. You know, let's get our tech talk on. Start modeling out what 2022 is going to look like. What are going to be the key areas of tech development that we need to focus on? So, yeah, omniverse, metaverse, IoT, electric vehicles, alternative energy, app development. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's just the first week of January, y'all. We got a lot to really deep dive into for the year. You know what? Here, here. I'm gonna just do it for those that need it. You know, just you know, I can always just, you know, add a spam filter if need be. All right, that's my email address right there. Hey, Dave Talman, you know, hey, dude, crank through it, stack your certs, man. It's a lot of places to go, man. It's a lot of places to go in tech once you've got that that squared away. Yeah, for anyone, you know, that really is interested, you want to contact me directly about like micromobility, IoT, and you know, all that stuff, dude. Like that's my company email address. So you can just email me there. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go get a bite to eat, you guys. I'm hungry, and I appreciate everyone for stopping through. Hit the like button. Um, like I said, I think we'll be back a little bit later. I'm just, I got some emails to shoot out. No doubt, Dave Town. No doubt. Got some emails to shoot out. Need to grab a bite to eat. Make a few phone calls. Pick my baby cakes up from school in about 2 hours, and we will be back. Be elite, fellas. Shit, you ain't said nothing but a word, Rock. You ain't said nothing but a word, fam. All right, y'all. Be easy. We'll be back later. Peace.